Alright guys, welcome to another video tutorial from techruse. This is Paxi, and in this video tutorial I'm going to show you some more basics of Metasploit, and this tutorial is also going to be more theory based, but in the next video tutorial we're actually going to be talking about Armitage, Hail Mary, and we're going to be messing with our Metasploitable, so keep an eye out for that. And by the way, this is Armitage. This is basically a GUI version for Metasploit, and let's just get on with our tutorial. So let's just type in service post post gray SQL start. Okay, there's a lot of noise currently, so I really hope you guys don't hear any of it. Let me just go to the settings, and yeah, it's just my voice. So let's minimize this and type in msf console to fire up our Metasploit. So today guys, I'm actually going to be talking about payloads. Payloads are essentially the pieces of code that you actually send to the target to get a grasp or a hold on the target machine. So there are actually a lot of types of payloads, not just 471 that are listed over here. I'm not saying that there are 471 types of payload, but let me just get into it without complicating it. So let me just clear this out. By the way, this is a very cute ninja. Good going there, Metasploit. And let's just type in show payloads. If you have watched my other tutorials, you know what this command does, or if you have received any kind of education, you know what show does. So these are all different kinds of payloads, and what you guys might wonder is that each and every one of them have a different role, obviously, but let's just get on with it, and let me just explain what I'm trying to say here. So there are basically 8 different types of payloads. So let's start from the very beginning. There is this inline payload. These payloads are a single package of exploits and payload. These are inherently more stable, but because of their size, they can always be used in small vulnerable memory areas. For example, guys, when you're actually exploiting a service, a particular service that is not, that doesn't have a lot of memory space available for you to exploit, then you can't just throw in a inline payload, because it will not work, as the code that is written requires a little bit of more memory to execute and get a grasp on the target machine. Then we have stage module. These payloads are essentially are able to fit into very small spaces and create a foothold on the system, and then pull the rest of the payload to the target system, so you guys can get all the features of the payload. Then we have Metapredator. Okay, Metapredator is a very powerful payload that we most often use on the victim system. It works by DLL injections, and DLL, by the way, is data link layer, if I remember correctly. This resides entirely on memory, and this does not write anything on the hard drive, so it's very stealthy, guys, and you cannot forensic this. But if the guy is actually very smart, he can obviously figure this out, and the communication that is happening between us and the target machine is actually encrypted, so that's very cool. Then we have PassiveX. This payload is for when firewall rules restrict outbound traffic. In essence, it uses ActiveX through the Internet Explorer to hide its outbound traffic and evade the firewall by using HTTP request and response just like any other browser would. Then we have non-X or no NX, or whatever you like to call it. I just call it no execution. See, by default, every single CPU has a security feature called DEP, or data execution prevention. In Windows, it is referred to as no execute or NX. Let me just type this out for you guys, and here you go. Pronounce it whatever you like, so nobody's judging you. So what this does is that the idea behind the security feature is to keep data from getting to the CPU and being executed. Non-X payloads are designed to evade the safety feature of the modern CPUs, so keep that in mind. Then we have ORD, or ODD. What do you guys like to call it? I don't think so. It's an abbreviation, so let's just call it ODD. So these types of payloads work nearly on every Windows operating system. These are extremely small but somewhat unstable. They are dependent upon loading a dynamic link library, into the exploited process. Then we have IPv6, which the name suggests that it works on the Internet Protocol version 6. And at last we have reflective DLL injection. These payload modules are injected directly into the target process while it's running in memory, thereby writing nothing on the hard drive and leaving little or no evidence behind. Then we have, guys, let me just exit this out, and let's type clear over here, and let's go to user share Metasploit framework. Then we had modules, yep, and payloads. Okay, what did I do wrong? Payloads, okay. And clear this out. So type in ls. So these 8 different types of, or how many different types of payloads that we just discussed, are further divided into these 3 categories, maybe for ease of use or whatever. So let me just talk to you about all of these. So staged payloads use tiny stages. So these use these to get a grasp on the to actually get a hold on the machine just a little bit. Like I said, guys, these stagers can actually be used to run in very small system memory. So when these tiny stages are actually executed on the memory, this actually pulls the rest of the payloads, which are called stages. So not very good naming scheme over here, I see. So these last stage payloads usually include such complex payloads such as Metasploit and VNC injections, both of which include large of complex code. Generally, a stage payload will split the name of the payload between a slash and such as in the payload, such as, like, let me just type in Windows. Okay, what should we use? Windows shell TCP bind. So this is a payload, and you guys can actually use it. Okay, I'm sorry. And the TCP bind is the stager. So, and a shell is a stage. Okay, so let me just go TCP bind over here. This part is actually a stager, so this will be executed in the small amount of memory, and shell is what we need. So this is the stage process. Unfortunately, this convention is not used in consistently in Metasploit. So one often has to go to the info section of the payload to find the directory it is in and determine if it is a staged payload. So this is why you guys need to know this. Then we have stagers. Stagers are small payloads whose only job is to fit into small memory and pull the large staged payload. So these are actually the guys we send out, so they can make just way for the superstars to come in. Then we have singles, and this actually defines my relationship life. So probably because of these very non-funny jokes. And these singles are often referred to as me or as inline payloads. Singles are self-contained units that do not require a stager. They are generally more stable and preferred, but many times the code is too large to just used or executed in the vulnerable system memory. So let's just go into cd singles and type in ls. So these are all the different platforms. These are all the different platforms that the payloads are available in and the payloads are available for. So let's just clear this out, and that's it for today's video, guys. I know it was all theory based, and I know that is not why you watch this channel, but trust me, next video is going to be more practical based, so keep an eye out for that. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, hit that like button. If you want to see more of us, hit that subscribe button. We upload every freaking day, which is very exhausting, but I do it for you guys. So show your support, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video tutorial. See ya.